talked about exercise, watching your saturated fats. A big portion of diet really is also your sugar control, your glucose control. Most research or most recommendations would say limit your carb intake, because that would increase your triglycerides as well. Obviously will also increase your sugar levels, and decrease your insulin sensitivity, and that would cause you to kind of go into that diabetic, pre-diabetic, diabetic state. So a big portion of just the lifestyle is limiting your complex carb intake, to be able to help with your glucose control. We do eat a lot of carbs as Ghanaians. Personally, me, I eat rice on a weekly basis, okay? So if you feel like you cannot remove rice, at least decrease the portions that you're eating and substitute it with more proteins. The fish, the egg, not a lot of meat, chicken, but chicken and fish basically the go-to to get some of these like significant proteins. Obviously, if you're vegetarian, you have other things, but like beans, legumes could help with that protein intake as well. Fruits and vegetables are a core of your diet, so you want to make sure you're getting these things. Some of these fruits, if you juice them, you're getting good nutrient, but you're also limiting some of the fiber from these fruits. So you want to at least make sure you're either eating them whole or you're making them into smoothie. You're getting the full benefits of these fruits and vegetables, and not just a decreased portion of it. If you're diabetic, make sure that you're checking the kind of fruits that you're eating, because some fruits can kind of spike up your sugar. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the type of fruits that you're eating that will not spike up your sugar, and cause you to make significant changes to your regimen. I have my computer here, my laptop, because I just wanted to read something that I saw. But in weight loss, protein intake should be prioritized during weight reduction to mitigate muscle loss. The recommendation really is 1.2 or a little bit greater than 1.2 or more grams per kilograms per day. So if you're at 30 kilograms, you want to eat 30 times 1.2, which is, about 40 grams of protein per day, and potentially with resistant training, about 2.3 grams per kilogram per day, to maximize your body mass retention. So with weight loss, you want to make sure that you're increasing more proteins whilst you kind of lose muscle, okay? And you're continuing to build that muscle through your strength training. If you're going to eat carbohydrates, I'm not sure what I said before, but if you're going to eat carbohydrates, make sure you're eating more of the complex carbohydrates than the refined carbohydrates. So the whole grains, oatmeal, brown rice, the legumes, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, the starchy vegetables, you want sweet potatoes, corn, squash, and other ones like wild rice. The simple refined ones are the white bread, the white rice, the pastries, candy, sugary drinks. You want to limit those ones. I talked a little bit about that Mediterranean diet, and like I said, there's no single definition of Mediterranean diet, but fruits, vegetables, some carbs, some proteins, some poultry, fish, dairy products. I mentioned slightly in passing about the DASH diet, DASH, which is more like a hypertensive diet, and that more is comprised of about 4 to 5 servings of fruits, 4 to 5 servings of vegetables, and 2 to 3 servings of low-fat dairy per day, with less than 25% of caloric intake from fat. Okay, So that is mostly studied in both normotensive people with normal blood pressure and hypertensive populations. It has been found to lower the blood pressures, both the top number and the bottom number. So I wanted to talk about this specifically because we are in the beginning of the year. A lot of people are doing exercise, a lot of people are dieting. So in doing all of these things, make sure that you're also actually going according to recommendations so that you're not losing too much of your muscle mass and your caloric intake is kind of matching the amount of physical activity you're doing. There are a lot of resources out there and podcasts, that a lot of physicians are doing that you can go to read and get more information about this. Little quick pharma. I know there are lots of advertisements about the GLP-1 RAs. So those are the Ozempic, Wegovy, the Zepbound, the Trulicity, the Mounjaro. These medications are great. There has been studies that have seen significant cardiovascular benefits, kidney benefits, liver benefits. There's been significant benefits according to studies and research about this GLP-1 RAs. So if you have the opportunity, if you have the means, because these medications are expensive, most insurances do not cover for it. Medicaid and Medicare does not cover for them as a weight loss medication. If you have diabetes, you would definitely be approved for these medications, but if you're using it solely as weight loss, most insurances will not pay for it. So they're quite expensive. They're about $350, $400, almost $500 a month injection. So if you have the means that you can get them, absolutely talk to your physician. There are some side effects. So these medications helps decrease gastric motility, and that's what makes you fuller easier and faster, and that's what is making you lose weight. You lose appetite, you don't feel like eating, and for most people also reduces the food noise that comes with you're sitting around not doing anything, go eat, go snack, and all of those things. So that food noise, it limits that a little bit for them. So these medications are super great. So if you have the means, talk to your physician and you can get them. I'd rather get it prescribed than go through the compound pharmacies, because you don't know what else is being mixed into these medications. Then again, there are side effects. Some people experience this, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. It's not recommended for people who have had pancreatitis. And if you have like people who, you've seen, thyroid cancer or family history of thyroid cancer, probably would not recommend that you do take that. So a little bit quick farmer. The GLP-1s are great. Not all of them. So most of them are prescribed for diabetes, but there are some that are actually FDA approved for weight loss, like Wegovy, and some that are FDA approved for sleep apnea, like Zepbound. So there are different ones that you want to talk to your physician about. And I want to make sure that you're actually getting the good one. Mounjaro is great for either, but it's actually approved for diabetes and not necessarily weight loss. So that is all I have in terms of the quick medicine that I wanted to talk about. I asked my good friends, on WhatsApp, because that's where I am currently. But I am on all the social media platforms as Dr. B. Anyways, I asked my good friends on WhatsApp if they had any questions for me to answer, something from facts or anything outside of medicine they wanted me to answer. I got a question about someone. They have been having belly pain when they eat, and well, I saw this was not necessarily a fun fact, but it could be anything. They have been having belly pain when they eat, immediately after they eat. Sometimes they have some gasiness, no significant diarrhea if they feel a little bit bloated. It lasts for, some few hours of the day and goes away, but every time they eat, they have this belly pain. I would say that seems to be a little bit more consistent with like an ulcer, like a gastric ulcer. If you do have a duodenal ulcer, you could have pain when you eat, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer while the food kind of goes through your body. But anyways, that seems to be consistent with an ulcer. I would go see your primary care physician. If you're taking any ibuprofen or NSAID, I would recommend that you stop taking those medication that will increase your, the pain or as well. Have them do like an H. pylori testing just to make sure you don't have H. pylori. H. pylori can cause duodenal ulcer, so you want to make sure you don't have H. pylori, so that they, the treatment for H. pylori is totally different from if you just had an ulcer. That is what I would say. But if anyone has any other questions, please reach out, ask me below, and we'll come to you next time with some good medical knowledge.